All right. Welcome to Off the Rails Sports Podcast. This is going to be our PGA Tour preview for the Players Championship. A lot of people call it the fifth major. It is truly one of the more magnificent stops on the PGA Tour, and all the heavy hitters are coming out for it. Literally nobody is going to sit on the sidelines. As we go into it, I'm going to give you my betting analysis, where I like everybody. We'll see top 10s, top 20s, and hopefully we can cash a little money. Scotty Scheffler, obviously he's the big favorite at 5-1. There's something wrong, man. I mean, last week he shot lights out from tee to green. I think he was in the top 5, and he just couldn't put it in the ocean, man. There's something. I just have a bad feeling about Scotty. Yeah, maybe he could win. He's won 2 out of the last 3 years, but I'm telling you right now, there just seems, the eye test just tells me something's wrong. Rory McIlroy, not buying any stock in that. He could have a really good week like he did at Pebble, but he just seems like his driver is not under control. And I really didn't like the fact he went to a different driver on Sunday in the last round of the Bay Hill. Something's weird with this swing. Colin Morikawa, I don't like him either. He blew up. He lost a tournament he should have won. 3-stroke lead with 5 to play. Afterwards, if you saw how testy he got in the press tent, stormed off. He hasn't been the same. I told you last week, I haven't liked him ever since he lost that big lead at the Sony last year to John Rahm. There's just something off with that guy too. Ludwig Oberg, I like him. I'm looking at him at 18, 20-1. The guy just played lights out. I didn't see him playing that well at the Genesis, but boy, that guy just was on fire. He got sick at the Farmers. Obviously it was legit. He put one in the water last week, had a 6, kind of derailed his final round. But at the Players, he actually lives in Ponte Vedra, Florida, so I think that's going to be a huge, huge advantage. He's one of my picks to click here. Tommy Fleetwood, there's another guy. He is at 4-1 to get into a top 20, or top 10, excuse me. The guy is playing really, really well. This is his kind of place. This is his kind of tournament. I'm not going to bet him to win because there's just no results with him. He just doesn't seem to be able to have that thing, but this guy is a top 10, top 20 machine. Schauffele, 25-1. I think there's just too much rust on his game. He is one of the most talented players in the world. There's no doubt about it. But as we saw from Scotty Scheffler when he came back from his injury, it just takes 4 or 5 tournaments. Is it possible he'll be ready to fire at the Masters? Yeah, but I think this is just part of the rehab process back. Matsuyama, I like him at 30-1. This is just his kind of golf course. You know, he's been kind of laying low in the weeds. He won the Sony to open up the year, and this guy can go out and fire some numbers. This guy, you know, it's funny with him, you know, he'll have a 15, and then all of a sudden he'll shoot a 62 and just show you what kind of incredible talent that guy's got. I'm going to just go over a couple more guys I like. I like Shane Lowry. That's going to be my bet. I like him at 40-1. I think he's just been playing incredible in Florida. He's had a couple little bad breaks. You know, what are you going to say? That's just how golf is. I really like him. He's a wizard around the greens. I think he truly is one of the best short game players in the world. I'd put him up there with Cameron Smith, even though we can put him on a milk box carton because he's in live, and I don't really give a rat's ass about that. The other 2 guys I really am interested in are Daniel Berger for a top 20. You can get him at 3.5-1 for a top 20. I think that's a really solid bet. He has just been playing lights out for the last 6 weeks. He hasn't got the win. You know, I've been telling you about Russell Henley. He got the win last week. He's a little too much chalk for me right now. He's at 20-1. But that's the other guy I'm really looking forward to. The other guy who's up on the board is Victor Hovland, especially in a lot of the personal matchups. And I just don't understand it. I think Victor is just playing terrible. You know, him and Max Homa just don't seem to be able to find their game. I know he fired his coach a couple years ago, and it just seems like he's been wandering, like he's a Ronin. He's wandering in the abyss, trying to figure it out ever since. Sepp Straka, he started out at 50-1. Now he's 25-1. That's a heavy lift, man. That's a heavy lift. You know, the last couple years we've seen the heavy hitters just win here. We used to see Webb Simpsons, Martin Keimers. We used to see those guys pop up out of the weeds. We haven't seen that in a while. So I'm going to kind of go with the bigger names, the bigger brands. But I do like Daniel Berger to get a top 10. I definitely think that's going to be doable. I like Shane Lowry for a top 10. And for my pick to win, it's going to be Ludwig Åberg at 20-1. Hey, if you could, hit the like and subscribe button. Tell me who you think's going to win, and I hope we all cash some tickets. See you soon.